Because Doka's not started yet.
Yeah, he quit out. Okay. That was a mistake. Alright.
Oh. Now we're off. Alright. So we have a little like 15-second level right here at the beginning of the run.
Did you just cut out? Okay. I'll start talking about some stuff. The first and most obvious thing to note about like watching a keyboard player is their camera. That is like one of the biggest advantages to it, is that with the mouse they get a ton of freedom over their camera. Generally, when playing, Doka just looks at the floor, which is a pretty good strategy to go by. It makes a lot of things easier. But he's going to start off by grabbing some yarn to give himself the sprint head.
Oh, Ringo did not grab the first yarn. He skipped the chest. I don't know what he's gonna do about that.
Oh yeah, he has to make
That's
one up.
actually pretty huge. I would just go back. He's gonna have to. Oh shoot, this is a really unfortunate start for Ringo. He's gonna be heading his way towards his chest, I believe, that he missed.
Yes, the one Doka grab that he didn't is right up here. He's making his way back for it.
Yeah, it is very important to make sure you have the sprint hat for the majority of this run, for obvious reasons. The sprint hat makes you go fast, which is what we're all about. So Doka's actually doing a glitch here. You can see he picked up 2 tickets. You're supposed to have to pick up 3 in order to actually open the vault that he did right there, to get a bunch of pawns and a piece of yarn to craft another hat. If you pick up a ticket while you're in iframes from taking damage, then it'll actually duplicate it. So you can actually just skip picking up the 3rd ticket. We'll see that trick once more in the run later on.
So did Ringo? Okay, yeah, he's making it now. Yeah, like, it's a rough spot for him not being able to make it when Doka did, because when you're making hats, there's this cutscene that plays of Hat Kid like crafting it herself that you can't do anything for the duration of. And so, like, generally what you want to do is for all of them, play it on top of another cutscene, so you're not like wasting time. And he didn't really have room to do that because he missed like the one cutscene he has. And obviously, it would be better to go through this level having the sprint hat because of how much faster it makes you. Because the only other cutscene coming up is at the end here.
Yeah, so you can see he's going out of his way to pick up a couple of yarn on his way to the main part of the stage. He does that so he can craft this second hat right here. It's the last hat we craft for quite a while in the run. You will see another hat, mainly towards the end. That costs 8 yarn, so it takes a while to actually pick up all the yarn that we need to craft it. Doka is entering Barrel Battle. It's a pretty straightforward level. You just go to this fight over here, kill 4 Mafia dudes, and then wait for the 5th one to drop down. After you kill the 5th one, then you get a timepiece after a little bit of an auto-scroller section.
And that right there, in this 5th guy at the end, showcases the speed of the brewing hat and why it's faster to have it earlier on, is because of how much damage you can do to, like, those Mafia guys without having to jump on their heads that much. Like, you'll see on this last one and the last 2 that he hit just a moment ago, like, these guys, whenever they take a certain amount of damage, they'll like go into this like little invincibility state. You have to jump on their heads to break or throw a brewing potion at them, which is faster and does more damage, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it makes this level like quite a few seconds faster than doing it without it. And that's why we opt to do it third instead of right away.
Alright, so, ooh, Doka gets the snipe. And actually, so normally you have to wait for the Mafia Man to drop all the way down and, like, walk his way down to start attacking him. But you can actually snipe him with the Brewing Hat and make him fall down way faster. He gets a 128, which is a very good barrel battle time. So good for him. Ringo just entering the fight right now.
128 is close to the best that you can hope for on that level generally.
Doka is in down with the Mafia. This is the first of a very small amount of RNG cases that we'll see in this run. He's going to be fighting a boss pretty much at the end, so he's just going to make his way towards the boss as fast as he can. There's an attack that the boss can do that makes you lose like 6 seconds each time he does it. At the most, you can lose like 15 seconds total to RNG, so it's really not that big of a deal. But we'll be keeping an eye on how good RNG he gets. Here goes Ringo, just getting out of a barrel battle.
Entering this throne room right here, looks like he wants some extra pawns. He's going up on this wall right here rather than going straight through it because right now he's jumping over a trigger for a cutscene and for a fight. And so with clean movement like that, getting over it, it's a lot faster to do. Yeah, that's pretty clean.
Supercharge!
So this attack right here, we're throwing down sandbags. He can do that anywhere from 2 to 4 times. And that, along with him standing still and yelling at you, are the two things that determine your time in this level generally.
Supercharge!
Sandbags being the main one, but yeah, he got good RNG for the first part of the fight. Then you just have to hope to not get a second sandbag after this one, because this one right here is guaranteed. And he got really lucky there. So now, for whatever reason, by holding the Brewing Hat in that corner, when he tries to use that attack on you, he needs to swipe you out of the corner, like he does that whenever you're too close to him. And whenever you do it like that, he like swipes you, like wherever, and you get stuck on him, and you kind of just like take his place. And so whenever he tries to do the attack, he just like falls out of bounds, which kills him, which saves like over a minute of the fight. I believe he'll be doing Golden Vault first, but there is a bit of a routing preference you can do here. There's one level that you need to do here, and also a rift located inside of it, and you can do it in whatever order you want. Alright, he's going for Golden Vault first, so he's going to be duping another ticket, this time with a harder setup. He has to take fall damage close enough to it that he can grab it in time, which he should, like that. So yeah, that's a decently hard trick. And obviously messing up requires you to either restart the level or walk all the way back up to the top, and then dupe the second one with the fire on that torch right there. That allows you to fill all 4 ticket slots with only grabbing 2. So that is why it's a useful trick. Yeah, that's like generally the only place that you see duping abused in this run. There's only 2 collectibles in the game that have that ability to them.
Yeah, so Doka is going to be entering the first time rift coming up in this next level. At the same time as he's making his way towards this time rift, which is a level kind of inside of a level, he's going to be making sure that he has 100 pawns so that he can get into the level coming after that one. It costs 100 pawns to actually even enter it. So, yeah, he's being a little safe, grabbing some extra pawns there. So he gets the time rift, and these levels are pretty straightforward. They're just like just down to the core platforming levels. A lot of them are based on cycling, like this one is. He's on pace for the best cycle right now. See if he can make this jump.
Yeah,
There
he's
he goes,
good.
he
He's
gets
got the
it.
DSJ.
Yeah.
Good. That's the theme for a lot of the time rift, is just because, like, so much of it is just having fast movement. A lot of things have, like, even if they're not 100% required, have, like, spinning blocks or stuff like that in them, so doing them optimally usually requires you to make a certain cycle. So they're really, like, heavy for, like, punishing mistakes. Yeah, he grabbed just enough pawns, so he's ready to go into heating up.
Yeah, so in this level we'll see a little bit of death warping. Uh, Basically, what you're supposed to do in this level is just run around and turn off these valves all over the place. But you can use Hat Kid dying as a way to teleport around in order to make getting to... Ooh. He was trying to die boost off of that fence right there. But anyways, about the death warping. You can use it to teleport back to the beginning of the level so you can go to the other valves much quicker. Versus just like traveling around the place, just running to it. So he's setting up for the death warp right now. He's intentionally taking damage on this lava.
And that's why missing that dive boost on that block at the beginning was a big mistake, because what he was trying to do there was trying to set it up so that he fell onto it from high up enough that he would take damage on it, but whenever he missed it and fell down, he obviously didn't take fall damage. It was faster to just jump on it, and then he had to take one extra near the end, because generally you need to arrive at the last faucet you want to die on with 1 health, so that you don't have to waste time bouncing in the lava. Because bouncing up and down in lava is a pretty slow way to take damage. He does it here though, because it allows you to make it all the way to this faucet without having to like platform around to it. And that's the second death. So that is all but one of the faucets. This last one he's gonna get, he saved for last because you can't die after the last faucet, because that'll prevent this from playing. And so you want to be at that last faucet when it finishes, because backtracking from any of the other ones would be way slower. So you save that one for last.
Yeah, it's pretty convenient to have that valve right there at the very end.
Yeah.
If you hit it correctly, you can sometimes get like right on top of the cannon if you have good movement getting to it. So like after the cutscene plays, the cannon opens, and then you can just go straight into it and go to the timepiece. So Doka just finishing heating up Mafia Town and Ringo entering it. Doka is on his, he's currently doing his last level in Mafia Town. After that, we will be going to the Subcon Forest. So the final level is another time rift, just like Sewers. This one is less cycle dependent, but there still is a cycle to it, but it's much less important than the Sewers one. So let's see if he gets the time rift correct. He does. Good job.
Doka breaking his curse.
Yeah, Doka is actually very famous for messing up that entrance into this level very commonly, and we give him a lot of fun about it.
He is set to make this last cycle, but it'll be pretty tight. Just barely, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very
clean. 35, that is very good.
good IL. Almost. I don't think that was quite sub 12 getting on the
No, it
Muffy
was
Town.
not sub 12. It was 12:01. It's like 12:01.9.
Yeah, so usually when runners are looking for good times to get out of Muffy Town, sub 12 is a good milestone to break. So yeah, now he's going into Subcon Forest. There's a pretty huge trick coming up here in the next level, so hopefully he can get it. He's sliding down the hallway
That
like
was
a madman.
that was pretty cool.
That was cool. I've never seen that before. So yeah, Doka's gonna be doing bag skip. Basically, you do a series of very specific jumps in order to skip over this really long cutscene. He's setting up for it right now by getting a little bit of height on this tree. And here come the jump. Let's see if he gets it.
Unlike the other players, you'll actually be able to see what he's jumping over. Is this bag right in front of him you can see, because he looks straight down at it because he's a keyboard player. So you can see him jumping over the ropes. That's what he's trying to avoid getting bagged into. Yeah, that's one of the advantages of having KBM camera. But yeah, he got it first try.
Yeah, so Doka's on pretty good pace actually. Ringo is just exited heating up Muffy Town. He has one more level to do. And then he will also be in Subcon Forest. So you can see Doka is actually taking some more intentional damage. That's going to be another death warp at the end of this level. Normally when you pick up a timepiece, the game sends you back to the hub. But if you kill yourself as you grab a timepiece, it will respawn you at the beginning of the level, so that skips having to go back to the hub in order to enter the next level. Because you can, because you respawn right next to where the next level is.
So that contract that he just signed to unlock the other acts in the level, because most of them are levels that, like, the entrances to them already exist in the world, no matter what act you enter to them in. Like, the next level, he can enter through the first one, and it won't make a difference, so luckily he doesn't have to grab that contract, but, like, that's the only one he actually has to get. So all the other contracts are thankfully skipped.
Alright, so what he's doing right now isn't required to complete the level he's in right now, but it's very, very important for him to burn those paintings because it... Oh, he's going for a risky strat. Basically, what he's doing is there's a cutscene that he's storing right now, and he's gonna activate it as he enters this Subcon well loading zone. Okay,
yeah, he got it.
He's good. He's good.
Basically, what he did, he held his camera in, like, close to Hat Kid, because, like, basically, like, making it so that it wouldn't trigger, because, like, it's affected by your draw distance setting. But, like, what he did is whenever he landed on top of the well, he looked at it close enough to where it would trigger as he went down, so that you didn't have to watch the cutscene, because you're already, like, sort of watching a cutscene as you fall down the well. That skips watching it. But the reason it's risky is because if you fall down the well and you don't hit the cutscene, then it's a huge run killer, because that means that the paintings will still be gone, but the blue wall is not down, which gives you, like, no way to back up and deal with it, other than, like, going and getting timepieces from a completely different world than Subcon.
Yeah, missing that trick is very inconvenient. If you're doing traditional runs, it's definitely a reset. So Ringo is not doing bag skip. You can see what Doka actually jumped over. He jumped over the trigger in order to... that causes this cutscene to happen. Basically, he's just going to be in this bag for a while, talk to Snatcher, and then sign another contract. And then he will be continuing the level like Doka did.
So, on Ringo's end, you'll see it twice, but only once on Doka's end because, like I said, he only grabbed one contract, the one that's required. Not doing bag skip gets you an extra contract, and like a thing about these contracts is that like whenever you complete them, like complete the objective or the level that you've been like assigned to do with them, whenever like the timepiece spawns, it like forces a pause screen onto your screen. And you can use that to grab the timepiece while the pause screen is still up, and then exit to hub. So you'll see that from Doka when he does mail delivery service, which is the last level in Subcon, and you'll see it from Ringo, hopefully in mail delivery service as well as Subcon well, because that is the other one that he grabbed. Yeah, just skipping over those ice walls right there. Not mandatory to actually break them down because they're not built high enough that you can't get over them with good movement.
Yeah, Doka's actually on very good pace for Vanessa's mana right now. He's trying to make his way to the mansion, which you enter through this cellar door right here. Yeah, cellar door.
Doka is a god of consistency.
Yeah.
He's like not too far off of his PB right now, I'm pretty sure.
So.
Like a matter of seconds. Make sure to land on that door frame to jump over a short little cutscene there. Kind of hard to tell because it's not really big, it's pretty easy to get over. Okay, so now Doka should be moving into the 2 rifts. He has mail delivery service available, which is the last thing he needs to beat, but he's saving it for last because whenever you re-enter the telescope, after like completing an act, it will like affect the telescopes like what it does. Like whenever you complete a rift, it does like a little cutscene of it, like putting a check mark on it showing you completed it. The reason you want to save mail delivery service for last is because whenever you complete it, it unlocks the finale of the level, or of Subcon, which plays a cutscene of like it showing that you're ready to go fight the boss. And we don't do that in this run. So doing it last allows you to not have to go to the telescope and watch that happen again. Makes the cycle easily there. That one's a bit more lenient than in the other rifts. So you have a little bit of room to mess up and still make it.
Yeah, Ringo in Subcon well, he just picked up his hook shot, which is new movement tech that you get in this level. You can see with Doka using it right now, actually. You see Ringo use it a lot in this level as well. Basically, you just... Oh, did he miss the... Oh, okay, so what Ringo missed right there is there's a button you're supposed to press in order to open the door to be able to escape this room again. But unfortunately, he just barely missed it. The reason why he missed it is because he's trying to press it and then sprint jump off so that you can actually... You're like moving while the cutscene is still playing.
Yeah, and like what that accomplishes is you being on the floor after like the cutscene of that door opening finishes rather than still being on the button where you pressed it.
Oh, unfortunate. He bonks in Subcon well.
Yeah, bonks in this level are unfortunate because there's like a set like movement of like hook shots that people have built like in their head, and then you like fall down and all of a sudden you're stuck in the water, and like the thing in the middle stops working, and like everything starts getting messed up, and it's hard to find backups.
A very punishing level for sure. If you fall all the way down, it can be really hard to find yourself all the way back up. He's got one more little hook shot right here. There you go, that's it. That one can be pretty tricky to grab sometimes, depending on how well your wall climb is. Stoka's in the last time rift for Subcon. This one also not very important about the cycle. It's really just this spinning block, pretty much. There's a pretty.
Oh, that's a fall. He's
that,
really far back. He's really far back.
yeah, that is. Oh no!
Shaking
You
his
can
hammer
see
around.
shakes
He's
it.
mad.
Yeah, shake his act. Get his frustration out right there. So there's a jump coming at the end of this level, which is pretty precise. He's gonna be jumping on this bell in order to skip a huge puzzle section. You're supposed to go like all the way around and walk all over the place, but jumping on this bell gives you just enough height to get straight to the timepiece, and she gets it first try.
Yeah, that was a really good run so far. That's like the biggest time loss he's seen yet, as far as I remember.
Yeah, so far Doka's been on good pace, except for that little mistake in Village.
But yeah, like, he fell down right before you end up getting to a checkpoint. Like, he went halfway back through the whole rift. Like, falls there can be pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, especially right before the checkpoint, like he was right there. So now Ringo's in the final level of Subcon's mail delivery service. This is a level that. Oh, excuse me, Doka. Doka is in mail delivery service. Ringo is in Vanessa's Manor. He's making his way towards her right now. Anyways, about mail delivery service. Basically, you're just running around trying to deliver mail to these spirits in Subcon, and Doka actually gets it pretty well.
Yeah, that was clean aim from Doka.
Yeah. You want to use keyboard and mouse, especially on this level, because it makes you aim better than with a controller. Controller has a really slow sensitivity, and it's hard to aim, and a whole bunch of reasons. Most runners who even run on a controller switch to a keyboard just for that level.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's already a keyboard veteran, so that gives him an advantage for being a god at that level.
So now he's entered Battle of the Birds, which is the last chapter except for the finale that we'll see in the 80% run. We'll be here for quite a while. This part of the run is almost half of the run, so definitely gonna be here for a while. There's a whole lot of timepieces that you utilize from this level, from this chapter, I should say. He's going for fast strats. Oh my god, he's zooming through this level right now. This level is like kind of dependent. There's a cycle with a bird at the very end, so you can see these birds walking around. They have these. Oh, he gets caught.
Yeah.
That is unlucky.
He went for a fast dive boost, but he had a bad cycle on that penguin. Basically, how the cycles in this level work is like those NPCs don't like move around until they're actually loaded in, which is based on your draw distance, which is like how far away the game will start detecting things. And so you kind of just have to get a feel for where people will end up on whatever your settings are for these. Because like obviously you want to make it under there at the end. If he's looking to the left, then you'll get caught through the wall.
We don't get any art from Doka. You can actually draw right there in that section. Actually sets your save files picture.
Yeah, Doka going for no BM or silly strats. He went for the optimal time.
Yeah. So that's the first level of Battle of the Birds. It's pretty much just an introduction to the theme of this chapter, which is movie making. The birds make their movies, and based off of how well you do in the level, you get points for them. He's gonna try and make the conductor win, which is the level he's in right now. This level, Ringo falling in pipe, unfortunate. Doka's not going to get a whole lot of points in this level because you skip so much of it. It's quite a huge skip coming up in about like 30 seconds. He's just trying to get to the main section of this level, and then he'll be able to do the big sequence break.
Do you know if Doka goes for door warp in his run?
He's probably gonna go for it. I don't know if he's gonna get it, but I'm sure he'll go for it. He said he tried it out, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. I'll attempt to explain it if he gets up to it. But basically, it's going to get set up from the sequence break he's about to do right now. There's a lot of keys you have to grab to unlock different rooms with evidence and stuff like that, all to lead to, like, getting to the final room. And there's a button on the upper floor that you don't actually need to get all the way through those rooms to get to. You can just wall climb up to it from the first room, and that unlocks this door right here. And basically, normally there's supposed to be a cutscene that plays here. So he'll have a couple seconds to see if he goes for it. Yes, he is going for it. Nope, that wasn't enough. Yeah.
You have to have like almost frame perfect movement to get into that.
So basically, what happened there is that there's a couple seconds where it should be playing a cutscene when you first enter that room. And whenever, I don't remember if it's like when the game doesn't realize that it's not playing or something like that, or whenever it would have finished, but basically, you get warped back to the start of the room after a couple seconds, and the door that you want to enter to, with like near frame perfect movement, you have just enough time to enter into without getting warped back to the start. So, it's a hard strat that you can go for that saves a couple seconds, but it's one of the most precise things to hit in the entire game. You can see by Doka's new input thing flashing across the screen, he's pulling out his controller right here, so that he can mash on keyboard and controller at the same time to make this faster. That is 200 IQ strats by him. Amazing text.
Oh, another unfortunate bump from Ringo. That one's less punishing because he just got the checkpoint just a little bit ago. So yeah, Doka. Oh, yeah. Ringo is going for the bell jump that Doka got. It's actually pretty precise. You have to space your jumps pretty well in order to actually get straight to the time peak.
It's a super muscle memory trick.
Yeah.
Like tricks that are really tight on like distance, you have to have jump timings down really well. And there'll be sometimes you just start missing it and don't know why. And
yeah, so Doka is showing off the new picture-perfect route, which we've seen a couple of runners do in this tournament so far. It's actually a brand new route, found by, well, it's made possible by him, actually. He found the cutscene skip that you can do in this level, which is coming up right now. Normally you have to talk to DJ Grooves in order for this dog to spawn, but if you talk to him, well, this just barely misses the jump. You can get a dive boost off and just climb up that right away. Yeah, other than that, pretty good, picture perfect. Normally you have to talk to DJ Grooves an extra time in that level, but he found the strats to not have to talk to him. So, pretty well executed, except for the dive boost at the end.
basically, you want to get enough points in that level to like meet the win condition, which is like become a certain amount of famous. And a fast way of getting points is by doing those little endorsement cutscenes. And we already did 2 in the route. And Doka found that whenever you do the second endorsement that we normally did, if you went back to the first one, the dog that you have to, quote, save to complete the endorsement would already be there, even though you never began the endorsement. So you use that route to, like, get the dog there without having to watch the cutscenes, which saves a couple seconds.
Doka unfortunately misses the fast strat gallery. He's trying to climb the wall so that he could just get up there right away, but instead he missed it, so he goes for the safe strat of just death warping up to it, which is definitely worth it if you miss the climbing up right away strat. He still gets a 32, which is a pretty respectable time despite that mistake. So I believe Doka is on his way to the second set of levels in this chapter. He should be doing Train Rush, I think, right now. He has 2 different levels he could do right now, but I think he'll be doing... Yeah, he's hovering over Train Rush right now. Ringo trying to get out of mail delivery service. Looks like he's having some trouble. If you forget your route in this level, it can be pretty catastrophic. Because if you don't know where any of the spirits are, you can lose a lot of time looking around for them. There he goes. He finds the last one in his route. So now he head towards the timepiece, and then he'll be into Battle of the Birds. Doka is in Train Rush right now. It's a very Train Rush is a very difficult level to get all the strats in. It's a pretty optimized IL. One of the most grinded ones, I would say.
It's one of the levels that takes the hardest amount of practice to be able to get really good at. The amount of hard movement stuff that's in it.
Going for the walk-up strat. Oh, just barely misses it. So what he tried to do right there was be fast enough for the platform to pick him up as it's moving forward, and then it would raise him up. It's kind of precise. It's pretty difficult to get. Unfortunately, he does miss it there. So the section he's in right now, he just has to press all those panels and then be onto the final section of the level. Oh, I almost saved it. If you fall down in the lava there, it's pretty annoying because you have to wait for Hat Kid to go through her whole lava bouncing animation, which can take a while. Ringo just starting Deadbird Studio right now. This level is pretty much just run to the end. Talk to DJ Grooves, get the timepiece. Ooh, I think he accidentally die boosted right there and he fell off. So, didn't get to explain on Doka's side, but what Ringo's doing... Oh, he missed it. You have to go pretty far. He's trying to death warp right now. Yeah, diving there is definitely a safe strat. It's worth it if you are having trouble getting to it. You can death warp and just skip a trolley cart that you have to ride. So now he's getting on this fuse box in order to skip a long auto scroller. He's just jumped over it right now. And jump under the stereo. There he goes. Now he's out of Deadbird Studio. You just have to talk to DJ Grooves for a little bit. Meanwhile, Doka is in, what do you call?
AliExpress.
Yeah, AliExpress. This is the most cycle-dependent rift out of all of them, for sure. He is on pace for the good cycle. He has the hard part down already. He just needs to get to this gear in time, this vertical one right here. And he gets it. That is the fastest cycle you can get in this level. So now he just has to do some tricky platforming in order to get up to the timepiece. There it is.
Yeah, once you get onto the gear at the right time, then your whole time on the level is just based off of how fast that you do the end. That's the whole main part. No matter how good or bad your movement is, as long as you make that one cycle, then you should be fine.
Alright, Doka entering the big parade. Here it is. Well, we've all been waiting for the 4-minute long auto scroller Pog Champ. I'm pretty confident that Doka is going to be going for a pretty risky strat at the end of this level that saves a lot of time. We'll explain it when we get there. But for the meantime, he's just going to be running around picking up pawns in this level. There are 44 pawns to pick up. You actually need these pawns in order to finish the run, because we're going to be doing another level called Cheating the Race, which costs 50 pawns to get into. And Parade itself is a very expensive level, coming in at 150 pawns. So because you've spent so many pawns, you need to make sure you pick up all these pawns inside of it in order to be able to afford cheating the race. Ringo making his way to the main section of Murder on the Express. So he has the button jump up to the button jump up to the button, pretty much. Doka finishing up the first section of Parade. Basically, after you wait X amount of time, you get to just complete a few tasks, which you just run around and hit some things. There's 3 at this part coming up. You just need to do basically the same thing. You don't have to hit the bells. That's the only part that you can actually speed up in this level. Other than that, you just have to wait for DJ Groups to give you the task of pressing all the buttons.
So the first time of waiting you use to grab all the pawns in the level because you need them. And then the second waiting gap that you have, you just sit still and do nothing. So he might AFK inside the ice hat, which sort of showcases the trick that I'll be doing at the end of the level. The ice hat gives you invulnerability and freezes you in place. And the good part about that, he's going to do it right here, is that these owls do knockback to you when they hit you, and so when you unfreeze yourself, if he taps forward a little bit, then he can have them knock him in whatever direction he taps, which he's going to use to die and send his body flying right into the timepiece. So that's what he's going to be setting up later. Right now he's just using it to sit still and do nothing because he doesn't have to.
Yeah, so he's just using his ice hat on top of this float right now. He's actually right in front of the beginning of the objective that he's going to get. So just by waiting on here, he can just get a pretty much instant objective complete. He's just going to be running between 2 other floats. And then after this, he'll be doing the trick that Flarebear just explained, where he lowers himself to 1 HP and then kills himself, flings himself into the timepiece by killing himself with the bird.
So he's gonna freeze in place with 1 health and right on this telephone pole. He's gonna take another damage actually. He wants to hit these little sparks right here. And use the invincibility to make it up here safely. So that little party ball right in front of him, right below that ball, is where the timepiece is gonna come out from. So he can just use that fake one as a visual cue as where to aim, because it's directly below it. Only other part is he's just going to make sure one of these missiles doesn't hit you right as you fly out, because that can mess you up, obviously. We should be good for it now. Yep, that's got it.
It is a good angle. And he gets it. Good job. 401 Parade is nothing to sneeze at. It's a good parade. Doka. Ringo is entering, or not entering, he's in Picture Perfect right now. I don't know what he's doing an interesting route. I've actually never seen this route before. He's having a bit of trouble with platforming. Oh, he exits the main menu.
Huh?
I'm not
Okay.
sure what he's doing right now.
I'll have to check out what he's doing, but exiting the main menu should be not against the rules. He didn't use it in a spot where like, yeah, he's just sitting on the main menu. Something must have come up. I don't know.
Hey, you want to give me?
It's starting to look like we're gonna have a DNF for Ringo here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like something's come up and he can't go on, obviously, because he's just sitting there, but either way, for reasons that it can be abused, saving and exiting the menu is against the rules for this tournament, so that will be a loss for this match, no matter what. Yeah, that is a DQ for him. So as long as Doka finishes this run, then this is a win for him.
Alright, Doka has 3 more levels in the run, one of them being finale. He's entering Cheating the Race now. This is the reason why we needed to make sure we had 50 pawns. Because solo costs 50 pawns to get into. This level is highly regarded as the most difficult level for beginners. Although Doka is not a beginner, he's probably going to be able to get this. Although I should not jinx him. It's basically it's really hard because it has a bunch of very precise platforming. If you make a certain amount of mistakes, then you will not be able to complete the race, and you'll have to retry the level, which loses a lot of time. It's just gonna go backwards instead of taking the normal way. Going into the cannon allows you to beat this guy in the race and get to the timepiece in time. There he goes, gets it. Signing his mailroom, and then he's into finale.
A little bit of a close race near the end, but ended up turning out fine.
Yeah, unfortunately it looks like Ringo DNF'd because he did not remember the route and did not feel like he was having fun, or that it would be entertaining. I'm just reading what he typed in chat a little bit ago. Oh, I thought... Oh. Okay, Doka almost got bopped by that Elvis bird right there. Those birds can knock you off and throw you off, and if he got thrown off, he would have to do the entire level over again.
Yeah, with the fast route for this level, there are no checkpoints that you actually grab. There are checkpoints in the level, but none that it's fast to go towards.
So yeah, Doka making his way into finale. There's a pretty big trick coming up where you clip out of bounds and slide on top of the roof of finale. Excuse me. He's going to wall climb up between 2 very luckily placed walls so he can get on top, and then he's going to slide his way across the roof, which is much faster than actually going through the level legitimately. Doka is on 46 pace right now, I believe, which is pretty good pace going into finale here. Let's see if he can actually do all the strats in finale so he can actually secure that time.
I would say 45. He entered at 40:42, which means a 5:15 IL time would get him around a 5:15 IL time would get him a high 45. So with good RNG and execution, that is completely achievable. But yeah, otherwise, safe bet would be a very low 46. Just still very, very good. So, wanting to slide all the way across is optimal because that's the fastest speed that you can get. But unfortunately, there are some invisible walls in a hole here, though he's not having too much trouble sliding around them, That's the main hard part about doing this, yeah. Just swerved right around them right there and swerve over this one, and he's good. He just has to get up at the end and he's fine for slides.
Yeah, he's gone past the hard part of slides. Every now and then you can have a bit of a wonky exit here though, so it's not completely done yet. See if he does. He's going all the way, exiting at the latest time he can. Oh, gets it. There he goes. Now he just has to clip into a cutscene, then he should have this. There he goes. Now he's in bounds. So the way he actually clipped in bounds is there's a cutscene trigger that just barely comes out of the room right there, so you can just barely touch it and then get back in. So now we have a little fight with Mustache Girl. You can actually, if you swing your umbrella, unfortunate miss right there. If you swing your umbrella at a, oh, he dies here. Okay, if you swing your umbrella at a good pace, like a good rhythm, you can actually hit Mustache Girl multiple times between each attack, and it speeds up the fight quite a lot. So now he's entering the final fight before he finishes the game.
45 is probably a rip. He had an unfortunate set of attacks to get in the first phase of the fight. Like I said, he would have had to get like a really, really good finale time.
It's a very good first phase. This is the second phase. This is probably the fastest phase. You just have to hit her 4 times, and with using the Mafia Ball and the Brewer Hat, you can hit her before you're actually supposed to be able to. It just makes the phase go by way faster than it's supposed to.
And the Brewing Hat helps out a lot there because using the Mafia Ball for each of her 4 individual attacks would take longer because, as you saw at the very end there, he had to wait for it to fall back down to the ground. This is a really big RNG moment of the run. This shield that he just broke, whether or not she decides to shield herself before using an attack, is RNG. And right now he's getting pretty good RNG. That's his second cherry so far. He can get anywhere from 1 to 5. That should be a 2 cherry for him.
2 cherry. Oh, he gets a 2 cherry in the race. That is good RNG. Usually you'll get 3 cherry in that phase, but you got pretty good RNG.
3 is the most common outcome, but stuff as bad as 4 is possible, and stuff as good as 2 is possible, and then 1 and 5 are very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
So this final phase, he just needs 8 hits, and there are 4 attacks that go in a set cycle. So he's just going to be tracking, try to predict which attacks are coming in, and hit them.
So he actually got a double hit there. What you can do is put your Brewer Hat, and then the Brewer Potion will hit her. And then you can also homing attack, so depending on what attack she does, you can actually get that homing attack to go through into her next attack.
That is a 45. That is actually a 45,
yeah.
Barely. That's like 45-59, I believe. Clutched it out at the very end there.
Let's hope he doesn't try and BM. I don't think Doka would be the guy. Let's get it, 45. Oh, there it is.
Solid.
45-58. That is the fastest time in the tournament so far. The second fastest time is a 47-30 something by somebody.
By you.
Yeah, I didn't want to say. But
it's okay.
Yeah,
you got blocked by Doka by 1.5 minutes in this tournament.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good
like
time.
I said, Doka is a consistency god. Like, that was 40 seconds off the PB that he just set earlier. Like, there's a very good time. Not too many people even have 45s, and he's just throwing that one out in the race. Like, I would solidly bet that he would be one of the people to take this tournament, or at least get top 2 or 3. Like, he is really, really good at playing consistent. See, a very solid run from him.
Alright, let's see if he saves Mustache Girl or kills her. Oh, he kills her.
He kills her, yes. He doesn't help her
there he
out.
goes.
That is my personal favorite option.
I do not know if anybody in the tourney has saved Mustache Girl. Very unfortunate for her.
Let's see if we want to get Doka in here. What's up,
Hey,
Doka?
Yo, how's it going?
Pretty good race, I'd say. Good run.
I was actually pretty happy with this run.
Yeah, nice job just throwing out a 45. I was saying you had to get like a 5:15 around to barely clutch that out, and you did get it, despite the big time loss in the throne room phase. But yeah, barely clutched it out.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my better finales.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ringo did DNF and picture perfect during the run. So you will be the victor. Yeah, 45:58. That is the best time anybody has set in the tournament so far.
Oh, nice.
That will likely go unrivaled for at least a while.
Yeah, at least for a little bit. Though there will be some other big dogs playing matches in round 2 coming up soon, so look forward to that. But what were the big notable splits of that run? I remember you losing like 20 seconds on Village. Yeah.
Yeah, Village was my biggest time loss. And my Battle of the Birds was not too great. I lost a lot of time in all of like the aisles, like Dead Bird Studio. I lost a lot of time on. Picture Perfect, I didn't do too well on.
Yeah, that
was I also didn't do too well on.
Yeah, that was another one. Was getting caught by the penguin at the very beginning. That was another big loss that I noticed.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were not that many mistakes that I cut out from that run.
Still yeah, honestly. Honestly, if I feel like if I didn't make all those big mistakes, that run could have beaten my PB.
Yeah, I'd just like to throw it out there again. Doka just PB'd like right before this tournament match with 45-13. So congratulations to Doka for PB and the victory.
Thank you.
Good playing, man.
And good job carrying your playing well from your PB momentum into the tournament race. That sounds like a pretty good strat. Yeah. I should grind out a PB right before my race.
I know, it works wonders, trust me.
Yeah, well, I think that is going to do it for us for now. So thank you all very much for watching. Doka versus Ringo. Doka is going to be your victor. Let's see, is he... Doka is scheduled to go against the victor of Janchi versus Will in round 2.
We'll have to go update the bracket real quick.
Yeah. Alright.
And Ringo is going against Mugetsuki Toma in the loser's bracket. Oh, actually, here, we'll have to talk about that later. Yeah, anyways, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you all very much for watching the Time Any Tournament.
Yeah, thank you all for having me on for an interview.
Yeah, good job, man.
As far as I know, unless if something else gets scheduled last minute, the next race will be tomorrow with Invader Pig versus Hija. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. EST. And that is another very, very good player coming in for a race. So look forward for that if you want to check that out.
Yeah, Hija is definitely an up-and-coming talent. He's been throwing out some crazy times recently. So definitely watch out for him.
Yeah, that is all we have until that race tomorrow. So I don't know what is coming on next. So that is it for us.
Yeah, later.
See you guys later.